amongst my many irrational bullshit things, fear is quite a big one. I think it runs a lot of my life. And I just wanted to talk quickly today about that, I guess. I read that highly sensitive people have a huge aversion to violence of any kind. You know, I guess, but for me, I would translate that more as, you know, real life violence against people, cruelty to animals and such. Because, like, it's going to sound really weird, I really love Hellraiser. That doesn't seem to bother me, which is weird. And I always sort of try and rationalize it as well, it's fantasy and it's so unbelievably ridiculous. Like, the violence is so stupid that it just doesn't bother me. And it has no elements of reality in it. And, you know, I really love fantasy. I love fantasy adventure. I love fantasy adventure books, fantasy movies. And to me, Hellraiser is just another fantasy film. But obviously, things like Nightmare on Elm Street, which sort of have an element of real human psychology, to me anyway, is a lot more disturbing. I mean, that is actually, Nightmare on Elm Street is like my original terror film. When it first came out, I think it was released in 1985, so I was 4 turning 5, and for you know, some reason, well, no, not for some reason, that movie was put on when I was a very small, that year. I was I watched it when I was 4 turning 5. And that movie really stuck with me just forever. I still have nightmares about it, but I think when I actually finally watched it again for the first time in many years, because I did try and watch it a few times when I was little, I could never do it. It would keep me up for just weeks, nights, weeks on end. I couldn't handle it. But when I finally watched it again, when I think I was about 27, 28, I was like, okay, yeah, it's kind of stupid, and it was easier to watch. It's now easy to watch, but still, like, it's still terrifying. I think it's also the element that terrifies me. Well, one of the elephants. One of the elephants that terrifies me the most is the bit where he gets, hey kitty, where he gets big boy. Sweetie, go on. Okay, don't. Where he gets pulled into the bed, and then the hole opens in the bed, and all the blood comes out, and then there's blood dripping through the floor, through the ceiling from beneath. That really terrifies me, and it's not just in that, because there's been other films where things like that will happen. Somebody will disappear, and then blood appears. Like, I was thinking about it, there's this movie, I think it's got, like, maybe Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and it's got Tom Baker, who used to be, Doctor Who when I was growing up. And in this movie, there's a bunch of guys sitting around talking about scary experiences, and one of the guys, his experience is that he and his wife, I think he's a magician and she's his lovely assistant, and they visit Morocco, I think it is. It's a Middle East country, and they visit like a market square, or they're just walking through some place, and they see a woman with a basket and a rope, and somebody plays like a recorder or a flute or something, and the rope comes out and sneaks up, and the woman climbs the rope, and it seems to be suspended in midair, and it's just really cool. And the guy's like, well, I want that. we're going to have to steal it because I need it for the show. We'll take it back home. So he and his wife set about either swindling or just downright stealing this rope from these people. And they take it back to their hotel room, and I guess they play music, and they get the rope to snake out of the basket and go up to the ceiling. And then the wife climbs the rope, and when she gets to the top, she disappears. And a patch of blood begins to form on the ceiling right above the rope where she disappeared. And that just fucking freaked me out. Like, that terrified me. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like one of the irrational fears, like being, you know, fear of the unknown, I guess. Anyway, wow, we just got right off. No, well, no. I mean, this is all about fear today. So that was, yeah, that one thing. And I guess that bit in Nightmare on Elm Street. And also, yeah, I mean, dreams, because I dream so much. It was always very easy for me to believe something would come and get me in my dreams. It still kind of is, like, dreams are powerful things. But yeah, Hellraiser, I guess it's also because I love Clive Barker, and I love his books, and I love his films, and they just, I don't know, something about them doesn't bother me. So yeah, fear. But the reason I wanted to talk today was because, you know, despite the fact that I should definitely be going to sleep earlier, I never do. I always manage to still be awake at 3 in the morning, which I know is like, it's meant to be like the witching hour, isn't it? When, supernatural and ghosties come out and mess with you and stuff. Or on the scientific side of things, it's when your internal organs start, I've heard that your internal organs process more at that time for some reason, and that's why you start feeling kind of weird and like you're experiencing paranormal phenomena, is because I think your liver is processing things, and so it sets all these chemicals moving through your body and makes you feel like something's creeping up behind you or standing over you while you sleep. That reminds me of something. Anyway, so the reason I wanted to talk today was because last night, as I was laying in bed at a stupidly late hour, looking at my nightlight, which is something else I want to talk about, my nightlight and nightlights in general. Yeah, I know, everything's got something, right? So anyway, I was lying there, and yesterday I had watched something by a YouTuber. I'm not sure if I'm still subscribed to her. I think I unsubscribed because her content, it's a lot of paranormal stuff, and I honestly can't really handle it. I mean, I watch it, which is dumb, but it opens up a lot of negativity in me and negative feelings and attracting negative things. But anyway, yesterday I watched one of her videos, and I think it's new. And it's about SpongeBob SquarePants, which is something I love. Like, I really love SpongeBob SquarePants. And, but I clicked on it because it just sounded really dumb. It was like the lost episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, or the scary viral story episode of SpongeBob. Anyway, I clicked on it and I was watching it, and it didn't really show the episode, but she was talking about it, and she was talking about what it was about. And it was one of those things where people will take a child's cartoon and make a horrible story around it, and it's something I really hate. It makes me very uncomfortable. It makes me feel very, very sick, and probably, I mean, it won't make me feel sick straight away, but I will think about it later on. It will come up in my mind, like it will just reappear. You know the way things do that you don't want to think about. And for some reason this, it is very disturbing. Maybe more so because I love the show, and it just upset me more for that reason. So anyway, I was lying in bed and started trying to sleep. I couldn't stop it from happening. Like, I couldn't stop the thought of it from entering my mind, and wave after wave of just nausea and fear kept, like, then I'm telling myself, no, stop, just stop thinking about it. Like, why is this so hard to stop thinking about? But I couldn't figure it out, you know. I couldn't understand why it was so difficult. So, yeah, that, like, irrational fears. Okay, buddy. Where do they come from? Why do we have them? Why can't we get rid of them? As strong as you want to tell yourself your mind is, and as powerful as you want to tell yourself it is, like, who's got the power? Is it you or your mind? And by that I mean your conscious self and your subconscious activity, and which one has the upper hand, you know, because a lot of the time I feel out of control of that. I feel like the internal conflict is being won by my subconscious. I don't know, do you call it the id? I mean, I know that's like your basic instinct thingy that does what it wants to do. I wonder if that's what it is, but why would my id, you know, want to show me all this horrible, terrible stuff and scare me a lot? So yeah, there was that. Irrational fears, what's it all about? I was going to sit here and crochet, but then, you know, it got away from me. Also, you know, just wanted to mention, I am still doing crochet, obviously. Like, I've been posting a lot lately, gone into overdrive, like another YouTuber that I've started watching who is, you know, intrinsically, not of the paranormal. Well, no, she is a spiritual person. I think I mentioned it before. Stargirl, the practical witch. She's really cute. She's really fun. But also she says so many interesting things. From her perspective, it's spiritual. I'm not sure what perspective I'm coming from at the moment, but I relate to so many of the things that she says. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I don't usually listen to horoscope readings, but I clicked on this one. It was for like June, July 2019. And she was going through the star signs and what she's picked up as a radar for them in June, July. And she got to mine, she got to Capricorn, and everything she said was just insanely spot on. It was freaking weird. Because usually it's just really generic, like, your thingy's in retrograde and this and that's going to be happening for you. I see a lot of love, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't like that. It was, she said, I see that you've been very busy lately, doing too much, trying to produce too much, doing too much of your hobbies, like working on too many things. And it's true. I mean, and also maybe, you know, not too many of the things that you should be doing, although, you know, should, that's subjective. But a lot of hobbies, I guess, and that's true. I've been doing a lot of crochet, I've been doing a lot of wine and weird tales, which has actually fucked me up. Wine. I think I'm gonna have another coffee soon. Probably. It's another thing I shouldn't be doing, but I do it because no one will take coffee from me. Not even myself. It was weird, just the things she was saying about how I've been overproducing and putting too much energy. And she said that, you know, June, or well, obviously July coming up, I'll be forced to stop and take a break. So I'm looking forward to finding out what that is. Again, like, is that scientific or is that based in reality or spiritual? Alright. So yeah, anyway, fear. Fear was my thing I wanted to talk about today because, you know, it's irrational and I hate it, and it's another conversation that probably needs to be had. Irrational fears. What do they say about us? What do they say about the people around us? What do they say about life in general? Who knows? Someone probably does. Psychologists probably do. I don't. I'm not a psychologist. My advice to anyone, which, you know, I'm not qualified to give in any capacity, is if you're afraid, just, you know, do breathing exercises, breathing techniques. I'm still on the fence about meditation, but, you know, we'll see what happens. I've been feeling really weird about that lately. So, yeah, anyway, to the YouTuber whose content I have to now have a break from, I'm sorry. I really do enjoy watching your videos. You're a very comforting person. Probably doesn't matter if I say who it is, right? It's LoeyLane. She makes really excellent paranormal storytime videos and does the creepypasta, viral scary story readings. She does it well. She's a cool person, but unfortunately resonates a little dark with me at the moment, a little darkly, little too deep. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to stop now. It's obviously not a very quick video today. It's quick enough. So, yeah, irrational fears. If anybody's suffering from those, let's talk about it. Let's get the discussion happening. I always feel like it just feels so much better when you know other people are going through the same thing as you. You feel like you're not alone. You feel... It sucks to feel alone in these things. So if you've watched, thanks for watching. My cats have been watching me, disturbingly. Actually, they're asleep now. It's really hot. It's really hot.